In today's lecture, we will study about MySQL Workbench. It is about the usage of a tool for database management system, particularly for the relational database management system. As our subject is focusing on DBMS, so we will use Workbench as a tool to practice all our theoretical work in databases. So in this lecture, we will study about MySQL, formerly called as MySQL, then MySQL Workbench, and some components of Workbench. Actually, we have three main components which appear on the front page of Workbench, and then we will study about the interface and different features in the Workbench. Workbench is a heavy tool. It has numberless features and facilities for users. In this lecture, I will give you a brief introduction about this tool. First, we will know about MySQL. MySQL is the most popular open source SQL database management system, and this has been developed, distributed, and supported by Oracle Corporation. We can call this product as MySQL, but the official way to pronounce it is MySQL. With the help of this product, we can do many things related to database management. We can say that MySQL is a database management system. We can manage databases in MySQL, and another thing is that the databases must be relational, so all the databases must follow relational database model. Means that there would be some sort of tables and some other components that are required for relational data model. Third thing is it is open source. You can easily download it. It is free for use. And then MySQL database server is fast. Comparatively, it is fast, reliable, scalable, and easy to use. With my personal experience, I feel that MySQL is a bit faster than Microsoft SQL Server. MySQL Server works in client, server, or embedded systems. And the last thing is there are many applications available which use MySQL for database creation or for storing databases in MySQL. Next thing is MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench is a powerful database management tool for MySQL. It has tool modules for creating and executing and optimizing SQL queries, for designing, modeling, and operating databases, and also for configuring server, administrating users, and viewing database health. It is available on internet and can be freely downloaded for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, both 32 and 64-bit systems. There are two editions of Workbench. The first one is Community Edition, which is freely available on MySQL website, and the second one is a standard or commercial edition. This edition adds enterprise and commercial features such as schema model validation and the generation of database model documentation. How can we install Workbench? For installing Workbench, we must surf the web. We must go to MySQL website. There we can download the installer. We can directly download Workbench, but it is better to download the installer first for MySQL and then install all the required components for MySQL and for MySQL Workbench. So once the installer has been downloaded and installed, you will get this application. So here you will find none of the products because there will be no product installed. So you will need to add at least MySQL Server and MySQL Workbench. So with this button, with the add, you can easily add these products. Next, thing is, once you install MySQL, so make sure that the MySQL server has been installed and configured properly. You must check this MySQL server running in the services inside Windows. You can easily check these by typing here services, and in this list search for MySQL 80. So this service is running now. Suppose it's not running, so you must double click it and you must change its status to start. Now let's start the MySQL Workbench interface. So when you start Workbench, you will find an interface like this. I can show you the original interface. So this is MySQL Workbench. Here we have a home HUD button. So under this button we have three main modules. The first one is SQL development. With the help of this module, we can create queries for the development of databases and different components of database, different objects in these databases, and we can also exercise different queries for different operations on databases and also on the entire server. The next one is models, data models. These models are usually the graphical models for databases. With the help of this data model, we can easily design databases in a graphical mode. Here we will drag and drop tables and other components. The last thing is migration. Here with the help of this migration wizard, we can migrate data from other supported database systems to MySQL. We can also use this wizard to copy databases from one MySQL instance to another. So I'm going back to Home HUD tab. Here we have queries, model, and migration wizard. For SQL development, we must click this icon. So once this icon has been clicked, we will get this interface. Here we will find some connections to different MySQL instances. For creating a new connection, we must click this plus icon, and if already some connections are present in the list and we want to view information about these connections, or if you want to edit these connections, so for that purpose we must click this setting icon. After clicking this plus icon, we will get this window. This window is used for creating a new connection. So here we need to type some important information. Actually you will find some information already present in the text boxes. So you need to type the host name and port number so that we may connect our connection with an instance of MySQL already present in the system. So usually we use localhost or this IP, and this port number is default. You can change this port number during the installation or configuration of MySQL server. Then if you have some passwords and you don't want to type password all the time whenever you start the connection, so for that purpose you can save your passwords in the vault. Then we can change the connection method here, and we can give the name to a connection here, and also we can assign or we can import a default schema. So this schema will be always available for this connection. So once you type all these things, then you can check the connection by test connection, and the connection can be created by clicking OK button. Let's start our workbench. So here I need a new connection. Click plus button. Connection name is new connections. I can change the connection method, so no need to change it. Standard, we are using localhost. This is also correct for localhost. The the port number used for MySQL on my localhost is 3306. I have already given this number during installation, so I can use the password here, store in vault, and also I can give a default schema if there is any schema and I want that schema to be accessed always by this connection. So I must type that default schema here. So click test connection. Actually I have not stored the password, so it is asking me for password now. I can store this password here by clicking save password and vault. The connection successfully made. Click OK, and now this new connection has been created. For editing or viewing information about these connections, we must click this icon. So we will get the connections list, and here we can check the information about these connections here. You can also add new connection from here, delete existing connections, make duplicates, and also change the order of these connections with the help of these buttons. So no need to make any change. You can also get some other options by right clicking a connection. So we have a menu here, and there are a lot of options for managing these connections. For starting a connection, we must click it. In some versions single click is enough, and some versions you must use double click. So I'm clicking it. It didn't ask me for any password because the password is stored in the vault. So this is the interface. Here we have some panes in this interface. Here we have query pane. Here we type our queries, and then we execute these queries. Next, on the right side we have SQL Editions pane. Here you can find different SQL queries and help about these queries. Next one below we have output pane. Here you will get the result after executing your queries. We have object browser or admin tools on the right side. You can find all the databases and objects inside these databases, and if you click an object you can get its metadata in this information pane, or object metadata can be seen here. So if you need to hide a pane, you can click any of these. So I'm going to hide this SQL Editions. Now I need to type query. So the first thing is I must select a database as a default database. So here we have some databases in the list, and let's say I want to use students. So student must be selected. I have two methods for selection of this database. The first one is right click on it and click set as default schema, or you can also type use student. Wait a minute. Use students. So If I execute this statement, the student database will be selected. I can execute this statement by pressing Ctrl plus Enter button, or I can execute this statement by clicking Query in the menu and then click this Execute All or Selection. So this query has been executed. Now I need to view all the tables stored in this database. So here I'm typing show tables. This time I'm executing it with the help of Ctrl plus Enter button. So press Ctrl Enter. This query has been executed and we got a list of the tables stored in the student database. Also below we have some information in the output pane. These are green, means these are executed successfully. These queries, we executed 2 queries. So here we have 2 messages. Suppose I type wrong query, show tables, and here I type, let's see, show tables. So look here, this SHOWWW has been highlighted, and if you bring your mouse pointer on it, you will get the message that why this has been underlined. Now if I execute it, I will get error for this. In the output pane we have error for this, and here we have message about this error. You can type here many statements, like I'm typing here select static from. We have some tables here, basic info. Actually this will give us the contents or the rows stored in this basic info. So here I'm typing select static from basic info. Now here we have many statements, so I can execute a single statement by selecting it or bringing the cursor here in the statement, or I can select all these statements. So if you need to select all these statements, go to query and here click execute all statements, and if you need the current statement, so for that purpose click execute current statement. Usually we use Control Enter for current statement. You can also execute a statement by clicking this icon and also this one icon. Here in the Navigator we can see all the databases stored are available in this connection. So here we have 2 tabs. First one is schema. Schema is for databases, and the second one is for administration. Here we have some administration tools. So usually we work with the schemas. So I'm going back to schemas. Here we have some databases in the list. So if you need to know about a database, you can expand that list, and here inside this database we have some objects, we have tables, views, stored procedures and functions. Inside tables we have 3 tables. Now if you want to know about the tables, then you can expand this, and here you can find the columns, indexes, foreign keys and triggers. If you want to know about a table, you can also click it here, and here you will get the metadata about this table. So here in the information panel we will get the list of columns along with their data types, and if there is anything else, that thing will also be displayed here in the pane. We have many features in this product. You can do many things. Explore all these icons. You can find a lot of facilities for typing and for managing the databases. So we can create many objects easily with the help of different tools inside this product. We can also manage many databases inside this MySQL. There are many options available here, and also we can use this bar for having multiple tabs or creating databases and doing some work on tables too. We can do many things with our storage in the database. Usually we store our data in the tables, so usually we type commands here for manipulation of data. We use different queries for selection, for updation or insertion, and even deletion of data in the tables. So the interface also allows us to graphically make changes in the data. Suppose I executed this select statement, so it gave me the contents of a table stored in the student. The name of the table is basic info. Suppose I want to make some changes in the name attribute. So for that purpose I must type insert or update query. So that is obvious, but we can also make changes here. So double click in item. So this one has been enabled for editing. So here I type, let's say, the name has been changed, and now I can update this record by clicking apply button. Similarly, new databases can be created through icons or through code. So if you want to create a new database, you can click it here and give a name to new database and then apply. So you will get that database here in the list. And also if you need to create a new table, you can right click on tables and then create table here, and here you can give the name of the table and column names in the list and then apply. We have different flags for each attribute, so you can select some or none of these flags for the attributes. We can also create tables in the code. Usually you will see in the lectures that we will use create queries for creating tables. So for table creation we will type some queries here instead of using this facility of create table. Going back to the home tab, the data model lets you